Okay, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to join us here today. I've got several things I want to go over and get feedback from. The first topic that I have for you is I want to have multiple options for group workouts during the week. We currently have a Saturday morning run, a Sunday morning bike. We have some people on Tuesday, Thursdays that are riding at different times, but they're just kind of, it's not well organized. Just a couple of people hit and miss here. We've got a few people that are doing swims on certain days, but that's not consistent. We've got a few people who are running early mornings, sometimes Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesdays, sometimes Thursdays. And I want to see if there's a way we can put all those pieces together that fits most of our schedules. Here's the reason for that, twofold. One is to build the community, the accountability factor of this. We know that it's getting ready to be darker and grayer and all that wonderful fun stuff. It's a lot easier to motivate yourself to get out of bed when you know somebody else is expecting you to be there, or at least anticipating. Well, that's a better word, anticipating you to be there. So are there days of the week, times that would be better for you if we had group events? So on the biking, we have opportunities to have cycling here in the studio, or many of you are on Zwift. We can organize some meetups on Zwift. We can have a combination of those two pieces. But what kind of times would be better for you for that sort of thing? Some of you are swimming. You might be swimming at LA Fitness. You might be swimming at the Monon. You might be swimming up at Westfield. So we can organize multiple things, multiple different times. We just need to know where you swim, what time you typically swim, and then we'll put some pieces together. I'll create an overall schedule so people at least know what the opportunities are. That's your cue.
I swim at the Monon Center mostly on some days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes if we're during the season, it's after we do the workout on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's going to be one of those days, right around 4:15, 4:30.
So the Tuesday, Thursday, about 4:15, 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then cycling, I'm on Perf Pro. I don't like Swift. This never works out for me. So I'm usually up at 5. I'm usually on the bike by 5:45, 6 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then on Saturdays, I usually do my long ride, and it's usually it could be whenever, if someone else wanted to meet up with me, probably early as 8:30, 9 o'clock. Yeah, outside of that. And then Sundays, I usually run about 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock, but I usually run around here. Problem with meeting up someone over at the gym, it's either having my bike set up there already so I can just walk in and get on the bike, because there's all that process of getting set up, getting spun up and everything else. And I also, because I live in Zionsville, it takes 20 minutes to get over there. So that means like getting up that much earlier to do the same thing I'd probably do in my basement. So yeah, but that's one thing I know, that gearing up towards the Chattanooga half, riding by yourself for 2.5, 3 hours gets, especially on a trainer, gets really, really old really, really quick.
Yep. What else? You're not careful, I'm gonna pull out some teacher tricks and just start calling on you.
I live kind of out by like 79th and Fall Creek. So if when I cycle east from there. If anybody's on that side of town, I usually do my long rides on Sundays, do long runs on Saturdays. A lot of times on the Monon, that's typically where I'll go. And then from a swimming standpoint, similar to Steve, I'm like late afternoons, just depending on the day, and I'm at Lifetime Fitness in Castleton.
I'll throw out biking. I normally try to hit 4 of the 5 Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday mornings. Just depending, other than Paul now has my time pushed back that I start because he's introduced a core element that takes me about an hour in the morning. So I generally will start riding somewhere between 7:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning. I am on Zwift, or if the weather permits, I'm outside. I'm not terribly far from you, Terry. I'm at Keystone at the Crossing, but I ride the fort quite a bit. I like the hills at the fort. And so I'm pretty flexible those mornings. Saturday's my most flexible time frame. I can adjust about any time to do rides.
Let me ask us some other pointed questions here. Swims, days of the week and times that are better for you. We've heard a couple of them already. If you had your ideal time that you would want to swim, when would that be? Just start throwing them out. Christy.
I'm pretty flexible. When I was doing chat last time, I did 5 a.m. swims, maybe 5:30 or 6 would work better now, or 9 o'clock a.m., which is not very popular time, but I can pretty much go anytime up until about 4.
Awesome.
But evenings aren't great for me.
Okay. Abby.
I'm the exact opposite of that. I could do mornings, but realistically, I'm not going to.
So opposite would be 5 or 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Great. Cycling.
Me?
Anybody? Early morning stuff, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday. What's your preference? I know there's some of you that I'm coaching. I've got on certain days. Those things can be modified. That's just organization pieces. What would be your ideal?
I mean, across the board for me, like pretty much anything is going to be lunch hour or like 4 p.m. on. That's any activity.
Okay.
Yeah, usually through the week I'll do evenings on the trainer, and I've never like a couple people have said I've never had any luck with Swift, so I'm not I don't use that. But then Sunday mornings pretty routinely are good for me.
Okay. Okay, runs. Time of day. We've got the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning that can happen. We know we've got those times there, but how about during the week? If we had some runs during the week that you would attend, or and they don't have to be from here. We can move it around. We can do a different things, but we need to have a consistent time if we're going to do something like that. What would be a good time for you to be consistent on your runs during the week?
Hey, it's Lori. I joined a little bit late, but much as I hate it, I think I need to try and get things done in the morning, like the early morning. So if anybody would be into that, I would love assistance.
So what's early morning for you?
I need to kind of be done and home by about 7. So 5:30, 6 maybe. I say this as if it's easy for me to get up at those times. It's not, but.
Yep, great. Any other thoughts on that piece? I've got several topics, so I don't want to dominate, but I do want to get your input on those pieces.
I think in addition to the Saturday group run, the other type of run I would be very interested in getting together with people on would be some sort of like track workout, something where we're able to be all in the same area, but we can be doing our own paces, routines, whatever is on our schedule, but we're all still kind of in the same physical proximity. And maybe that's like a track Tuesday or track Thursday thing. I'm probably similar to Abigail's schedule where afternoons work better for me during the week. I'm also sort of in a transition stage right now as I build back up, but mostly that would be after 4 p.m. on weekdays is something I can do for that.
Yeah, and I guess to piggyback off of that a little bit, I do like what Gus is saying, like if there's like a targeted thing that the group needs to work on, like whether it's speed work or hill work, like that's something I think I would definitely be interested in. When I do the running through the week and stuff, a lot of it just depends on what my work schedule looks like. So that's a little more flexible. But I think if there's like something specific, like we're going to work on as a group, like I definitely would be interested in something like that.
Fantastic. Awesome. I'm going to move on to the next topic real quick, just for the sake of your time and being considerate there. FYI, many of your trainings are not going to change, but I want to be more intentional with how we're approaching things. So there have been things on your training plans where we're working on speed work and we've got the intervals and that kind of stuff. It's just harder to do. So Gus, part of what I want to do with this kind of stuff is be able to have that sort of thing happen also, whether it's the indoor rides or outdoor rides or the runs, even with the swims getting together, being able to have a somebody to keep up with or somebody to be accountable. Those things are what the real intent of this is. The next topic that I have is we're looking at some of the youth stuff, and Maria, thank you for being patient on this. We're going to add some youth and junior coaching and training and youth junior strength classes. Most of this doesn't affect you, and Maria, you get to have the biggest input on this, but what would be the most convenient times if we were going to have classes or days of the week for that to happen? And you're muted right now, Maria.
I wasn't listening. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Looking at like the youth and junior training and the classes, what days of the week and what times of the day would be more convenient from your perspective?
Let's see. She swims 4 to 6:30 Monday through Friday, and then she swims and does dry land Saturdays from 7 to 10 a.m. So ideally in the early morning when I'm teaching, because I teach at 5:30 right next door. So that's Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, or after 6:30 p.m. on like maybe Tuesday or Thursday, or a Monday, Wednesday.
Okay. So Tuesday, Thursday is pretty consistent before and after school or toward the end of the day and so forth.
The only thing with Tuesday, Thursday is that she also has dry land, so they do weights on top of swimming.
Mm-hmm. So we could almost do a Tuesday, Thursday where we're doing the tri training on a Tuesday and then a strength training or a supplement piece there on a Thursday, perhaps.
Maybe not a strength training because they'll do 45 minutes of weights on Tuesday and Thursday.
Gotcha. And Maria, just there's a couple that I've already talked to about this that weren't able to make this. So I'll get all this kind of stuff and kind of consolidate it and have a meeting with just us, talk about those sort of things. Okay. Yeah, but thank you. Third thing is the strength class opportunities. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of what's going on. We have Joe here who this week has started a Tuesday, Thursday evening strength class. It's different than what we're currently doing. Some of you might want to consider supplementing, especially this time off of stabilizing and working on some pieces there. There's a couple of videos that we put out that Becca, Joe, and myself are trying to organize to get them into your hands, a little bit more familiar with what's happening tonight. If you're interested, it might be a good thing to stop by perhaps and let Joe take you through some of the stuff just to show you. It'll do a lot more in person than what the video would do, but the video is pretty good as well. We also have the Tuesday, Thursday, 8 and 10 a.m. classes. Some of you at different times have conflicts Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, the intent is that we continue the Monday, Wednesday, Friday strengthening pieces, but we also have the opportunity for some people, their schedules dictate that they needed a Tuesday, Thursday class. So that's why we've added those. Third thing, to help with scheduling, I'm going to be sending you an email here shortly, and it's going to be an invite to download an app. The app is called Team Snap that will allow me to put on all of these different workouts that we've talked about, the group meetings, that kind of stuff. You'll be able to go into the app. It's very simple. That's why I pulled it out. It's simple for my brain, that you can simply go, yep, I'm going to be there. And you got the accountability. You know what the different options are. We can communicate in there a little bit. Long term, I'm having an app developed for PXP Endurance that will include that, but then several other things as well within the coaching and training pieces. But in the interim, as a stopgap, we're going to use Team Snap to get us through this next little bit. You'll be able to have a profile on there. It'll kind of talk about your thing. But let's say we're having an event at Chattanooga. We've got a lot of people going to it. Now, instead of having to do text messages and create all these different things, we can have communication with just that group. We can have communication with the entire group. We can set during a week, we'll know when we're having Zwift meetups, or we're going to somebody's going to swim at a certain location or a certain time. We're going to have group runs. You'll get to know what those are, and hey, I want to go do this, or communicate what that is, and just kind of build some of that accountability. So be looking forward to that email coming out probably tomorrow. Might happen today if I'm efficient. Any questions on that piece? Anybody have any experience with Team Snap? It's really used for youth sports, team organization, that sort of thing, but we're going to use it for us. Informational upcoming. In 2 weeks, we're going to have the fit kits arrive for next year's gear. For those of you that are interested in getting updated run, cycling, and tri gear, we're going to have two options. One is from Core, the other is from Varlo. They're going to be two different color designs, similar design, just different nuances. Can't wait to unveil that for you. It's going to be pretty snazzy. I have three things left. One is I want to tell you about a foundation that is going to be coming, PXP Endurance Foundation. Bob's been helping me get some things started there. And this has been, many of you know, this has been something that's been on my heart for a really long time, to be able to help those around us that are less fortunate, but we've also got opportunity to create things. The intent of this foundation has several tentacles. One is going to be to recognize Jay Zacharias. Jay was an Ironman triathlon coach for 30 plus years, 13-time Ironman finisher, passed away from cancer less than a year ago. His wife, Miriam, many of you met her. I introduced her on the Facebook page. They've made a lot of donations. We basically have a library now of books. So we're going to have the Jay Zacharias Foundation library. We've got, we're going to name a scholarship after him that we're going to have to give to, and we're going to delineate that. But then my vision of that is to high school kids going to college, or opportunities for all kinds of different pieces there. And then also to support programs within PXP Endurance. We've got people who hit life obstacles that, either aren't able to continue financially, or something happened there to affect that we can support them through this foundation, as well as the youth and junior program. Some of them are trying to rent or lease pool space. It's an obstacle for them to be able to do all the stuff that they could be able to do. And so this foundation will help with that as well. So I just want to make you aware there'll be things upcoming shortly. Two more. training camps. We had a training camp last spring out in North Carolina. I want to continue the training camps, and I want to do some locally and then some remotely. I've been working with a couple of people to look in the Brown County area to find a bed and breakfast. I'm just using that as an example that could maybe host 7 to 10 rooms that we would rent out, that would be convenient to biking and run trails, that we could go down there for a weekend, go down there for a week, different times of the year. I'd still love to get one in yet this year as maybe a running camp. Still working on some of those things. I would like your feedback. If you know of some places down in Brown County that are potentials for hosting us, if you know of the locations, I can do the legwork on that and kind of see what those look like. But really need a property that could house multiple people. We could even do a couple of properties to do this. In North Carolina, one of the things that was great was that we ordered our food and it was there. We just had to heat it up. Had a chef doing that sort of thing. If it's a bed and breakfast, I can also talk to them about, obviously for a fee, can they have the meals ready for us, and we can set the times and dates and that sort of thing. If we do a regular hotel type thing, now we've got to go organize, meals and that kind of stuff, and it's just a little bit more cumbersome. But if you have any thoughts and ideas for that, or camps that you would be interested in, I'm wide open to that. Please shoot me some stuff. It's on the front of my from my mind right now, and on the radar. I want to get moving on those things and get them set up for next year. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of big races that many of you are doing. Chattanooga's coming up here in May, so trying to get a camp maybe in March or April, perhaps in Chattanooga or down in Brown County as the weather is appropriate and so forth. I want to do a lot of those things to make sure that you're all organized and ready. I want to pause just a second. Do you guys have any feedback on the training camp pieces or thoughts on that? Is it something you're interested in, I guess, is really what.
Yeah, I would be interested in it. Last year I wanted to go, but it just couldn't make it work from a work standpoint. But I like the idea of a training camp.
Yeah, I'd love to see cycling like we did in Brown County. I think it just needs to be something we have scheduled far enough advance. Otherwise, people will plan something like that on their own.
I'd certainly be open to cycling, and the only thing about North Carolina would be transporting bikes in the airlines but just again far enough in advance to be able to drive down or something.
It's not that going down to North Carolina wasn't that hard. We had my truck. I think I held 2 or 3, and Paul had 2 or 3 on the back of his Jeep. It wasn't really that difficult. It was just a long drive, 8 hours to get down to where we were. But that was probably the most serious hill training you'll probably do in a long time. That was kick ass. It was really kick ass.
It was harder for some of us than it was for you, Steve.
Yeah, big pain, big pain.
Yeah, big change, guys.
And we've also got an opportunity. There's a place in Virginia as well that doesn't have quite the steepness and grade on that, but those are all open for things. Thank you for that feedback. I'll continue moving forward on those pieces. The last thing I have before I open it up to you guys in a moment, so get yourself ready to ask me some questions here. Last thing I have for you is on the 28th, a week from Saturday, Halloween parties at our place, Heather and I's place. I encourage you, if you're at all available, it is an adult-only party. There will be costumes, prizes for the appropriate costumes, and there might be some adult beverages there as well. If you're available, I'd love to see you there. It's one of our annual socials. We try to have 4 or 5 of those a year. This is one that I, in particular, Heather looks forward to. Matt Deck will be singing for you. Bill might even join in a little singing, so we'll try to entice you with some of those pieces. But the 28th, Saturday evening after Monumental, play in your costume, come join us, have some fun. Now, my question for you, here's the feedback. What do you need in this upcoming off season? What do you need? And I'm asking that question from multiple perspectives. What knowledge do you need? I want to try to do this type of Zoom informational thing. What kind of information do you want to have? What's the low-hanging fruit that you want to hear next? Okay. Is it nutrition? Is it how to pedal your bike harder? Is it how to sit on your bike? I don't know. I'm making stuff up, but I mean, what's the low-hanging fruit of things that through this year, through the season, man, I want to work on this in the off season. I want to learn about this in the off season. I need that list. You can either, I'm going to ask you to unload it right here, but you can also text me and send that stuff to me. What do you need in terms of, from a coaching perspective? Accountability. Do you need the whip cracked on you? Do you need, what do you need? Right. So information, coaching perspective, what is it? Go.
Def nutrition for me. As far as coaching, I don't know.
Accountability, Paul. Accountability. I start tailing off towards the end of the season, and it's not good. Not good.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise, cracking that whip would definitely be helpful. So
I'm gonna third that emotion, accountability.
Be careful what you're asking for, y'all.
I may
I
block
can
you.
craft the whip pretty good.
So for me, like I'm trying to, I want to approach like this off season, so to speak, a little differently, I think, than I have in the past. Like I know, like get back to basics. I feel like so much during like racing season, building up to a race, I'm really just focused on distances. Like, I think for me, understanding like when you put a drill into like Training Peaks or, like some kind of like set training program where it's not really focused on distance or whatever, it's, focused on cadence or it's focused on something along those lines. Like, I think just hearing like the why from you on some of that stuff, I think would help me want to stick to that more, if that makes sense, because then I understand, like, listen, you're putting this in here because this is going to be the benefit or the end result or what I should expect to get out of it. Like, if you say it's going to make you faster, like, okay, 100%, let's do that. But I think understanding some of that, I assume you probably will do what you've done in the past with like the targeted classes, whether it's the swim basics, the run basics, the how to set up your transition area. Like every year, like I learned something new from that, and I wholeheartedly believe like the things I learned from you in the swim, even though it was only on dry land, like I feel like everything I learned from you on that has made me such a better swimmer. So my ask would be keep doing those, even though some of it's going to be repeat. I always learn something new on that.
Yeah, we are going to continue the education sessions in person.
Okay.
My motivation for this piece of taking time out of the day, basically office hours with you all, go back to my lens from college athletics, have office hours, is that there has been a disconnect of what I put in some of the training plans and an understanding. And it's taken me a little while, but I've finally figured that piece out. So I want to be able to add the education to it of here's what we're doing, and then get the why to it. And then my theory is if we have, here's what we're doing, and you have the why, you're going to be that much more improved on how you apply it.
Yeah.
And I think those Tuesday, Thursday classes with that smart fit will actually give you an extra edge on some of the swimming, cycling, and running. Just based off of my current clients I've trained who do the triathlons, their major feedback was like in their off season, doing this cross training, when they started picking up their running and cycling and swimming again, they're like, wow, huge difference, a lot more power drawn from that. And they don't feel like they're fatiguing out as much or losing that strength especially towards the end of the season. They're starting to feel different things. So, I would actually encourage some of that to utilize those Tuesday, Thursday classes as cross training to what you're doing, just to find a different way to implement that with what you're doing.
Bill,
Or anybody.
Bill, you look
What?
like you're getting ready to say something.
Well, a couple things. One, I was just curious, the Tuesday, Thursday classes, did we talk about what time those are going to be at?
So there's three options on Tuesday, Thursday. They're the 8 a.m., 10 a.m. are similar classes to what the Monday, Wednesday, Friday classes are. Now, when I say similar, they're not the workout that you would see on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, but they're similar philosophy, how they're applied. The 6 p.m. class that Joe's going to lead is going to be using some sandbags to help you stabilize a move and get stronger. And it's
Yeah, no, that's when the 6 o'clock class is what I was curious. I didn't know if we had talked about the time, and
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to demo Joe's class. It's been a few months now, but it was definitely a challenging class that we took, even just kind of running the basics. So if anyone is interested, I would definitely check it out. It was pretty interesting. I plan on trying to implement more of those on the off season myself.
Joe, you want to take them through your pricing and what you're doing with that right now? Let's just
Yes.
out of the way.
The introductory rate, we're just doing $44 a class. And then after that, we're doing $65 a class. Paul and I are still trying to work together like a monthly package for people. So right now we're just kind of testing it out and see what people feel for the one-on-one, for the group classes as you come in. They're going to roughly about an hour long. So that way it's more of like a semi-private. So that way you still get some of the one-on-ones, and once you learn the basics, the rest of the stuff will just kind of come through. We'll also implement a lot of like kettlebells, resistance, TRX, stuff like that with the tools of the sandbag.
And Joe, you're limiting your classes to 4 to 6 people, correct?
Correct. We're hopefully to grow that as it becomes a big success, and then we'll get more tools to implement for bigger class groups.
Awesome. Thank you. What else do you guys want me to know? How else can I help you? Brian, I haven't heard from you yet, or Shan, I haven't heard from you yet either. And Bill, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to
No, you're fine.
poke the bears a little bit. And is that Kim on there as well?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. What are your thoughts?
I'm just taking it in and listening.
How can what kind of things can I do to help you? Anything in particular?
I definitely, so I kind of heard what people talked about in the beginning about doing some runs during the week. I would actually prefer early morning, like a track workout. I think would be good for speed as I build back speed going into marathon training. I will not be doing chat, so I'm targeting a marathon in April. So I would like to have, I think it would be good to do, maybe one day a week to have your speed workout as a track workout and have some people there. So that's kind of a camaraderie type thing. Yeah, just taking it in.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Shan, Brian. Brian, I see you unmuted, but I still don't hear you. Well, this has been recorded. It is being recorded. I'm going to share this with the group so they can see what our conversations will be. Maybe it'll be something that sparks some other pieces. I'm going to try to get a summary of all my notes here. I will be sending you an email that would include the link for the Team Snap. Within Team Snap, I'll have the different times of when we're going to do different group workouts during the week that you'll be able to see those and then pick and choose from. I'll be tapping some team leaders to help with some of those that can be accountable, because obviously I can't be in all places at all times, even though sometimes I think I can. But I do want to, create some of that leadership within the group as well, continue to foster those pieces. Highlights I want you to keep in mind are going to be the different classes. We're going to have this sort of call routinely. Right now, I'm trying to decide whether we do it every week or every other week, just to keep, I don't want it to become something that's a burden, but I also want to make sure that it's something that's valuable to your time. The foundation, look forward for stuff from the foundation coming shortly. There'll be some of you that I'll talk to you about being some leaders within it or getting some input on that as well. If you have any information about training camps, either potential locations down in Brown County or thoughts on what you'd like to see at the training camp, let me know. And then don't forget about the Halloween party on the 28th. Hope to see many of you there.
Hey, Paul.
Paul,
Yes.
are you gonna, go ahead.
This is Kim. Quick question. For your foundation, is it a 501c3?
That will be the intent. It is not today, but yeah, it's not
Okay.
anything right now. It's a concept right now.
Sure. Well, I would look forward to if it becomes working towards a 501c3, because I think there would be some great benefit.
Yes, that will be the intent.
Okay, thanks.
Paul, you mentioned the Halloween. Is there a time and an address, and will you put that in an email?
Yes, there is. The address is my place. I'll have it there. I need to get you. Are you on Facebook? You're
No.
not, are you? Yeah, that's why you're not. I haven't brought you in. I will share that with you. It's within the group. I've already put that there, but I will get you that information because I would love to see you all dressed up. Okay, I'm gonna end the recording. Stay right there, everybody.